750, Big 550 KTRS. Before we head out, we got to check in with Dr. Bradley Freeman, professor of surgery at Washington University. Good morning, Dr. Bradley Freeman.
Hey, good morning, McGraw.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
So, same to you and your listeners.
You betcha. All right, so let's say I have a thermometer and I want to take my temperature. Where, I'm afraid to ask this question, where is the best place to stick it?
Well, you would think that medicine would know the answer to this, and literally fever as a manifestation of disease has been known since the time of Hippocrates, who lived several thousand years ago. But having said that, there's been a number of articles over the years as to how do you take the most accurate temperature. And as you allude to, there's a number of ways to do it. You can take it in the mouth at an oral temperature. You can take it by inserting a probe into the ear, which is called a tympanic membrane temperature. There's devices that go to the forehead that I think you and is one of your sponsors. There's rectal thermometers, and there's thermometers that can be inserted to the bladder. And so the conundrum is what's the most accurate way to do that. And it's probably more of an issue in hospitals than outside the hospital. But nonetheless, a researcher recently has looked at all this accumulated literature, which involves several thousand patients, and found that by and large, these core temperatures, meaning either obtained from the rectum or obtained from a temperature probe inserted into the bladder via a urinary catheter, are probably much more accurate than the other types of temperatures. And certainly this might be an issue for information recorded from patients in the hospital, and I think it is useful guidance to nurses and doctors in the hospital. But what do most of the people do outside the hospital? Most of us have kids, and occasionally they get sick, and you're confronted with the conundrum of should your kid go to school or not, and do they have a fever? And by and large, the recommendation is that the tympanic membrane thermometer is pretty good, and so either the one that you insert in the ear and insert in the mouth is probably pretty accurate, more so than the one that goes in the forehead. But the most accurate would be one in the in the rectum, or which most kids and adults certainly don't like. But nonetheless, if you want accurate information, you should probably go for the mouth or the ear, and if all else fails, resort to the tried and true rectal thermometer.
I mean, what's the difference? I mean, are we only talking a degree or two, or half a degree difference?
They estimate that there's a 1.5 degree difference, and you would say, well, if that's consistent, you could adjust it. And a lot of hospitals do that, but nonetheless, if you really want accurate information, that might or might not make a difference. And so maybe for a lot of illnesses, that would probably be somewhat inconsequential. For some illnesses, less so.
Yeah. How accurate is the mother's cheek up against the kid's forehead?
Never underestimate the intuition of a mother.
Okay, good.
That's been my experience.
All right. Yeah. All right. So all those years of medical school, the mother's cheek is still the best way.
You got it. Tried and true from centuries of experience.
All right. Good. We have a minute here with you, Doctor. Another story about a facial transplant. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, and this in my line of work and in your and Kelly's line of work, you come across a lot of stories that put your problems in perspective. And this is a firefighter that literally had his face and scalp burned off in a house fire in 2001, even burned off his eyelids, and had over 70 reconstructive surgeries. And ultimately was referred to a group at New York University in New York City who has some experience with these face transplants. And a donor became available, and as always with transplants, there's some tragedy to it. And so this is a young man who was a competitive athlete. He died from head trauma, and his family very generously donated all his organs, including his face. And this is grafted onto this firefighter, and it's several months out now, and he is able to have what would appear to be relatively normal facial function. So, as you say, these are rare surgeries. They're rare cases, but really is an incredible story.
Unbelievable. Dr. Bradley Freeman, professor of Washington University, and our friend joins us each week. Dr. Bradley Freeman, have a good Turkey Day, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Hey, likewise. Have a great day.
You got it. 755, Big 550 KTRS. the thing about the facial plants is, who does the guy look like? Does he look like the donor, or does he look like himself?
I don't know. I mean, I would think
'Cause it's
that
the
after a
bones.
while he would take his own face, his original.
Right, because
Eventually?
it's the bone structure. It's not the skin. The skin just sort of covers up the
Have
skeleton.
you guys seen it? Have you seen pictures
I've
of
seen
it?
the
have.
one. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really look like anything right now.
Well,
But I
yeah, because
think
he's still sort
eventually-
of.
Right.
Yeah.
But eventually he, well, who knows?
Yeah, this isn't a Nicolas Cage movie, though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is science. This isn't science fiction. 7:56, traffic weather, next, KTRS.